What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also. They asked me to put it up, so I put it up. Thanks everybody for supporting. This video is entitled, If You Want It, Be Specific. I think as adults, a lot of us still have a hard time being specific. And what winds up happening is we'll say what we want in a vague sense. But when somebody asks to be specific and give some details, you have a problem. And the problem is you really didn't think it through the way you said. You know, when I was younger, people, I want to be happy. Being happy is vague, you know. But if somebody asks you to be specific, what does it take for you to be happy specifically? Because your happiness may be catered to you as a person and your thoughts, your upbringing, your experiences, so on and so forth. Now, when you say, okay, specifically, nothing, you know, or another vague answer. And, you know, I used to hear a lot, you know, I'll know when I know. Or it'll be right when it's right. So just, you know, some type of mantra that has no actual detail. And then you see this even in the dating realm to a degree. People say what they want, but they're not, and they're specific on what they're attracted to. They're specific on what they want, but they're not specific on what they need, and they're not specific on what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? So what winds up happening is you wind up with a bunch of people who, how can I say this? If they're gonna be specific, they're gonna be specific about what they want you to do for them, but they're gonna be very vague about what they do for you. So, but if you know, and even in a relationship sense, if you really want a relationship, you got to be specific. Like, what are you bringing to the table, right? And when people say, you know, I'm bringing me, that's not specific. That's not specific. Like, no. You know, and I thought about that because it just went back into my head about the thing with one of Zoe's shows when Tone asked the woman, like, what if you need a guy who make a certain amount of money, how much should he have for y'all to be cool? Like, what's the baseline? She couldn't answer that, and that's still sticking with me. And you know, sometimes even dealing with life, as far as, you know, I want to live in a certain area. Be specific about where. Be specific. I want a certain house. Be specific about what kind. Be specific about what kind. I want a certain apartment. Be specific about what kind. I want to live a certain lifestyle. You got to be specific about how much that lifestyle is going to cost. You know, can you live the way you want within your means, or is it above your means? Be specific about that. I want this, that, and the third. Well, what does this, that, and the third cost? Period. You know, what does it take? You got to be specific. I want to reach a certain, you know, like it's kind of like when parents would get mad when kids go to college and they wish your major, and you're like, I'm a liberal arts major, and they're like, so you don't know like what you're actually going to major in yet? It's like, I'm figuring it out. You're supposed to know before you went. That was the issue. Know before you go. You know, and I think to a degree it's a childhood thing also, because a lot of times, you know, parents introduce their children to different type of things to guide to find their passion, so then they can guide them once they find something that they're passionate about, that intrigues them, that they're willing to stick with. But what winds up happening is, there are adults who don't have a passion. So if you don't have a passion, you're kind of, blowing in the wind. You still going this way, you still going that way. You're trying this, you're trying that. I like that, but I don't like that much. So I like this, but I don't like that. This is the season for this. This is the season for that, and you really have no direction. You really have no purpose, because you're still kind of finding your purpose. And I think there's a difference between finding yourself and finding your purpose. You can find yourself and still not find your purpose, and kind of be split, but that's the thing about being specific. A lot of times you start realizing the specifics and the details anger a lot of people, because the one of the things that can really tick somebody off is if they tell you, I want to do this, I am this, and then you start digging into, okay, well, what are the, do you know these particulars? And they're just, I want to be this thing, but I don't know the steps it takes to be that thing. I just know I want to be this. And everything isn't a quick fix. Everything isn't, I said, therefore I am, now I'm that. Without, you're still going to take a few lumps along the way. And whether you like it or not, sometimes you're going to get it right, sometimes you're going to get it wrong. But it's always to rein in what you actually need. And you come to find out sometimes the reason why you went too short or you went too far is because you didn't give yourself a specific boundary. You didn't say, this is what I want. Or you lied about what you actually wanted. You might have made your need, you might have looked over your need for a want and chased your want. And to be specific, you needed to address your need. And this is where we have, more and more grown people who are having issues because we want to be on the mountaintop without taking the journey. It doesn't work like that. And just for me, I know there are times when I sit down and actually have adult conversations with folks, and people freeze up. Like, I don't really like having a real in-depth conversation with people, because most people freeze up because they don't think the whole thing out. And it's one thing to not think, it's one thing to miss some things or miss a perspective. It's another thing to just, go from A to Z and not think how to get from A to B to C to C to D. That's a whole different conversation. I know I'm going to get from here to here. How you going to do that? I'm going to do it. No, you got to be specific. Because if you don't, you might wind up lost. Everything isn't a adventure by happenstance. So, if you really want something, you got to be specific. People want to lose weight, they got to specifically change certain things in their diet. They got to do specific exercises and this, that, and the third. People want to be better financially, you got to stay within a specific budget and a specific timeline. Put money in a specific direction. Everything you want that's why I say they say write down your goals. Your dream isn't a real dream unless you write down the goals, because the goals are specific. It's just a dream if you don't have any benchmarks. It's vague. If you say I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, or I got to do this by this time, then it becomes actual goals and steps you can take to get to the bigger thing. So, like I said, I'm done with this one. Like, share, subscribe. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.